coronavirus continues to impact the lives of people the world over, it's clear that things will never be the same. Here at home, an already ailing economy has been affected and job security is at risk. How will South Africa survive a post-COVID-19 world? For more on this, I'm joined on the line now by Bonang Mohale, Chairman of Bidvest and Chancellor of the University of the Free State. Mr. Mohale, very good morning. Thank you so much for your time. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. Looking to the future, there's no doubt that COVID-19 has fundamentally changed everything. The lockdown and its restrictions of movement have brought us closer to perhaps a deeper appreciation of normal human interaction and the importance of health, access to jobs and food. With all the changes that we're seeing, how far do you believe the impact of COVID-19 will be felt?
First, I think we need to remember the people involved, not just the statistics. Globally, in just 4 months, we have already exceeded 2,355,443 people that are infected, and 164,716 people that are already dead. Here in South Africa, just by last night, 3,300 people that are infected and 58 people dead, more than 1,000 people that have already recovered. The day we remember every single solitary one of the 58 by name, then we will know that we are really in a crisis situation. So for me, apart from the fact that this COVID-19 has fundamentally changed everything, as you say, firstly, I think it has changed the way the world will start thinking about the health and well-being of their people in good times in order to build the necessary resilience to cope with the increasing frequency of occurrence and virulence of these successive viruses. Secondly is the direct financial impact that all of us are going to really feel more than anything else. The devastation as a result of the ubiquitous lockdown at a time of global income disparity and attended social unrest, extreme weather, and precarious government finances, it couldn't have hit us at the worst time. Thirdly, for me, it is how human behavior, relations and interactions are going to change both at the personal level and the world of work. This has changed the way we greet, the way we visit, the way we gather, the way we entertain, the way we bury our dead, the way we pray and worship, etc. Mempo, and back to you.
Now, you know, it's important that you speak about the financial impact, Mr. Mohale. We know that most business sectors have started to lobby for a return to work. Already the construction sector is among the sectors calling on government to allow them to go back to work because of the financial impacts. The South African wine producers, for instance, are saying that they're losing 200 million rand a week from the export ban. Looking at those figures, exactly how severe is the economic carnage?
In fact, I think this is quite catastrophic. So in the US of A alone, the biggest economy in the world, 300 million people, 15 million South Africans have registered for unemployment benefits. 6.16 million of them in just one day. As if that's not enough, Southeast Asian airlines are losing $125 million a week. United Airlines are losing 100 million a day. Here in South Africa, we have also seen how, in your news, you spoke about both FAA and South African Express Airways, who are already in business rescue. Comair, for the first time, has posted its very first loss since inception. But look at the price of crude. Most countries and most oil companies do better between a band of 60 to 80 US dollars per barrel. But last night we saw crude oil at minus 37 US dollars per barrel. Now you have to pay somebody to buy your own crude and keep it for you. It is really unbelievable. We actually thought that when we saw about $20 trillion in the European GDP, which represents about 23% of the global GDP, being wiped out just in the first 3 months of this COVID-19, The world cannot have a healthy global economy without a healthy European economy. The EU is more important to the global GDP than China. We saw how Massmart, amongst many companies, have already said they have announced a reduction from 15 to 7 mega warehouses, demanding reduced rentals for game stores and agitating for an end to big annual increases in rentals. Labor market adjustments are now in full swing, as evidenced by the reductions in employment, remuneration, hours worked per employees, etc. In the first 6 weeks of this year, the announced planned layoffs are much more than 10,000, with some mancos 3,000, telecoms 3,000. Massmart 1,440, ArcelorMittal 1,400. Sibanye has said they're going to retrench 1,442 employees. Glencore 665, Aspen 219, etc. This excludes South African Airways, South African Express Airways, Eskom, that are already on the brink of
I'm going to have to interrupt you there, Mr. Mohale. I would have liked for us to speak more on SAA, given your past experience there in that company, but I'm going to have to cut you short. Thank you for your time, Chairman of Bidvest and Chancellor of the University of the Free State, Bonang Mohale, speaking to us about the impact of recovering from a pandemic.